And thanks, Catherine. Protecting one's mental health during the novel coronavirus is something we all have to take on. Anxiety is one of the things that now face some people. Cognitive behavioral therapist Harrison Thompson says there's a type of shock value that comes with this pandemic. Many may question simply if they're doing enough.
Studies have shown psychologically that when you are able to actually use your mental faculties, your capacity to become stressed actually goes down. So I think what people need to do more is they need to begin engaging more in activities that's going to stimulate them both mentally and emotionally. The second thing, we have to recognize that it is a very human need to try and control that which we are most afraid of. And of course, we are going to try and control the Covid-19 and its effects on us.
Thompson notes that some people may find almost anything to do right now to cope, which includes excessive cleaning.
By, of course, sanitizing and wiping down and washing our hands. However, we have to be aware of when our actions start to become neurotic, meaning we're no longer doing it from a place of wisdom, we're doing it from a place of emotional reaction. It's always best to sometimes step back from what it is you're doing, assess your behavior, assess your feelings, and ask yourself the question, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Or should I be doing more in my response to COVID-19?
And while some persons have reported cases of abuse increasing, Thompson shares what he is seeing in his sessions.
Seen a lot of instances of increased aggression, increased conflict, and increased disagreements. In terms of it actually converting over into domestic violence, I'm not seeing a lot of that in my office. However, there are a lot of reports that are coming into social services and other government avenues that does raise an alarm for domestic abuse in the homes. And as we would know, a lot of us are now confined to our homes with the curfews and the weekend lockdowns. A lot of people don't know how to resolve conflict. But if you are on the receiving end of abuse, you have to understand that you still have to do something about that. It's much harder to get support now because everybody is kind of confined to their own spaces. So those individuals need to find ways to empower themselves. There's a large police presence out and about right now. 911 still works.
Further, he says those on the front line, which includes doctors and law enforcement officers, are having to cope with this pandemic at the same time as well.
But those individuals are human just like us. I think sometimes we expect so much more from our law enforcement, so much more from our doctors, without realizing that they go through the same basic human emotions that we go through. Our ministers are going to get angry and anxious. Our police officers are going to grow tired and weary. We have to find a way to be more empathetic. Every interaction doesn't necessarily have to be an interaction that turns into something bad. But I find if we were able to change our attitude about how we view individuals, maybe we can play a bigger role in changing the outcome of those interactions. And so I want to encourage those on the front line to continue doing what they're doing.